So I just came back from a solo trip to Italy. Although the Italy trip partially wasn't solo, I was with my friends from Switzerland, but partially it was solo trip. And this was my second solo trip ever in my life. Last year, I went to Switzerland and Greece all by myself. And when you hear a phrase solo trip, you might think of some negative concepts like lonely, sad, embarrassing. And I used to think of those as well. But actually, a solo trip can be very empowering, especially for women. So in this episode, I want to share with you 5 reasons why solo trips can be empowering. Let's dive in. Aloha, I'm Miki Miura, a family nurse practitioner in Hawaii. I've been a nurse practitioner for 10 years and I absolutely love being a nurse practitioner and the lifestyle that Korea has given me. My passion is mentoring nurse practitioner students and new grad nurse practitioners to build amazing careers so that they can have the freedom of choice on what they want to do and how they want to live. All right, let's get into it. So like I said, I just came back from my partially solo trip to Italy and I stopped by in Switzerland. And last year I went to Greece and Switzerland. And my Greece trip was completely solo trip. And I never really thought of going on a trip alone until just recently. But when I was talking to my cousin in Japan, who is 10 years younger than me, and she's a nurse in Japan, she told me she always go to Europe alone and she prefers that way because she can go wherever she wants and it's very relaxing, and her story completely opened my eyes. Wow, I didn't know that's an option and can be very enjoyable. From that, I start to think maybe I should try. I want to give it a try and then see how it feels. Last year, I had amazing experience in Greece and I decided to go on another solo trip, which was a partially solo trip this time to Europe. So I'm going to share with you, if you are thinking of going on solo trip or curious about the solo trip, I want to share with you 5 reasons why solo trips can be very empowering, especially for women. First point is you don't have to wait for anybody to go on trips. I know a coworker who is a nurse. I've been working with her for years and she always says she wants to go on vacation with her sister and she wants to go on trips, but she's waiting for her sister to be available and it's been years and she never take vacation ever since she started to work with me. And I can see that she is stressing out, desperately need vacation. Of course, everybody need vacation. And you might know that I usually take vacation at least every 3 months so that I can refresh and re-energize so I can give that positive energy back to my patients and serve them better. So I can't imagine not going on trips or vacation for years and years. So I tell her, why don't you go on solo trips? That can be very fun. I tried it before. I was scared before, but it was an amazing experience. You should give it a try. But she's still scared and she hasn't gone vacation for years still yet because she's waiting for her sister. And one powerful thing about solo trip is you don't have to wait for others. Because especially when we get older, like I'm in late 30, I'm actually becoming 40 very soon, and I'm very excited about my next chapter. But when you are in 30s, your friends might be in different stage. Like for me, when I was in college in Japan, I was so busy with clinicals and I was working when I was off. So I had really 0 day off. I was working on New Year's Day. That was perfect timing to work and save money because I planned to move to Hawaii to enter nurse practitioner school. So I was saving money, I was going to school, so I didn't have time. While my friends are going on trips and I did grad schools, and now I'm in a stage that finally I have time and money to go on trips. But my friends are in different stages that they're taking care of young children or they might have some family issues and they are unable to go on trips with me. And I also love going on trips with my mom. I love treating her because she helped me to build my career as a nurse practitioner, and she totally deserved some splurge. My father passed away when I was 13, so she raised me and my brother all alone with some help from my grandma, but she went through a lot, and I really appreciate her, and I like to give back to her. But at this stage, she's worried about her mother's health, who is my grandma, and she doesn't want to be too far away from my grandma. So not in the stage of going around the world. Sometimes, even though you are now finally in the stage of going on trips and enjoy vacations, maybe your friends or whoever that you thought of going on vacation with are not available. But for solo trips, you don't have to worry about that. And it's nice to have an option. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go on trips with others ever. Of course, you have that option and it can be fun. But having another option, if they're not available and if you have time and money, and then go for it. And it can be very fun. And as a healthcare professional, we all know that future is not guaranteed. Who knows, your family might get sick, you may get sick, something may happen. You may have some financial difficulty all of a sudden, and you might not be able to afford or able to actualize vacation plans. So you don't want to keep thinking in the future, when I have time, when I have chance, and you might not have the opportunity in the future. So if you have opportunity now, I encourage you to take that opportunity and make that happen. And if you want to go on trips again with your family or partner or friends, then go on trips again. You can go on vacation. There's no limitation. But one great thing about solo trips is you don't have to wait for others. Second benefit on solo trips is you can do whatever you want whenever you want. Sometimes it can be hard to match with other people's desires. Like maybe they prefer to go to McDonald's, but you rather go to nice restaurants. Or some people like to go on shopping while you rather experience things and stuff like that. So sometimes there can be a conflict of how you spend your money and time during limited time while on vacation. But on solo trip, you can decide where you want to go, when you want to go, what you want to do. In Italy, a lot of people go to Rome, but I didn't go to Rome because at this point I wasn't interested in Rome. And some people might think that's crazy that you didn't go to Rome, you went to Italy, but you didn't go to Rome. But that's another thing about solo trip. Hey, I just did what I wanted to do, period. I was there to make myself happy. And also some days initially you're thinking of going to a restaurant for dinner, but then you're tired and you decide to order some room service and eat at the nice hotel room. So you can just decide what you want to do all by yourself, and that can be very stress-free. Third thing is, this is especially pertinent for women, but treating ourselves feels really good. Not too long ago, women didn't have too many options to treating ourselves without asking permission from family members or their husbands, because they didn't have too many means to make enough money to treat themselves. But luckily, we live in the current society which allow us to have some solid career. Like being a nurse practitioner, I have a very satisfactory work-life balance, and that gives me financial freedom. I get to go on business class, I get to stay at a nice 4 or 5-star hotels, go to nice restaurants. I don't really care about brand bags and stuff like that, so I'm not ultra super rich and stuff, but I get to treat myself here and there, and having that option, especially as a woman, is very empowering. And this actually really hit me when I was in Greece last year. I think I was in Mykonos staying at a 5-star hotel, and I went to one of the restaurants within the hotel. And initially I was thinking Greece is extremely romantic place, and that was sunset time. I was outside, and then they asked me, oh, how many people? And I was like, only one. And I was embarrassed. Initially thought that people would judge me that, oh, poor girl, she's all here all alone, she's sad and whatnot. But then I realized, hey, I'm only one at the table. Obviously, I'm the one who's paying. And I get to have enough financial freedom or stability. And I get to treat myself that I don't have any sugar daddy. I get to treat myself. And this is so empowering as a woman. So I realized that solo trips can be very empowering. I hope you are enjoying this episode. Before we go back, I want to quickly mention that I'm giving a gift to you for listening to this episode. I'm giving a free PDF nurse practitioner job interview prep checklist. This checklist is full of questions that you're likely to be asked during job interviews as a nurse practitioner and some tips on how to prepare for them. With this downloadable PDF, you can prepare for interviews well so you feel confident and stand out from other candidates to get the job that you really want. To get this free PDF nurse practitioner job interview prep checklist, you can go to usa.jnpproject.com/interview. Again, usa.jnpproject.com/interview. Now, let's get back to the episode. Fourth thing is overcoming some struggles all along in a foreign country or wherever you're not familiar with can be very empowering. So during solo trips, you might encounter some obstacles and struggles. Like during the Italy trip, I went to Amalfi, and the last day in Amalfi Coast, it was rainy and stormy, and I was gonna take a ferry to Naples, but then they didn't run ferries, and now I had to take a bus which was packed with people ran off, and then I couldn't get on. I was waiting in rain for over an hour, tried to get a cash from ATM, but my card wasn't working and everything was mess, and I was super miserable. But I decided to take a cab and go straight to Naples. I negotiated with them, and it's such a struggle. And at this point, it's a laughable story, but definitely at the time, it was very unpleasant experience. But then I realized, hey, I was in a foreign country and was able to handle the situation. And that experience made me realize that I had so much survival skills in me, that I can survive in foreign countries. So that was very empowering. And finally, solo trip can teach you that you can control your happiness. You cannot control everything, but you can control some of your happiness because you're not waiting for somebody else to make you happy. Sometimes as a human being, we might have some expectation from others, like maybe you expect your partner to do something nice for your Valentine's Day, for your birthday, or Christmas. And sometimes that expectation can be unhealthy. But if you take control of your happiness, hey, I'm gonna treat myself, I'm gonna go on a luxurious trip to Europe or wherever, go to Japan or wherever, and I'm just gonna do what makes me happy. And then if somebody else, your partner, friends, family, do something nice to you, hey, that's a bonus. But you don't have to depend on them to make you happy, that you have control. And that's so empowering. So if you are thinking of going on a solo trip, I would say go for it. Experience and see. It's a very interesting experience, but I actually have many positive experiences during solo trips, and I highly encourage it, and I'm willing to go on solo trips again. I hope this episode was helpful for you. If you like this episode, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I upload new episode every Friday. Also, if you have any comments, questions, or if you can share your solo trip experience, please write down in a comment section. I would love to hear from you. All right, I'll see you in the next episode. Aloha, take care, and treat yourself.